Entitled mother creates a scene in the theater and delays movie because I wouldn't exchange seats. This happened all the way back in April, when Avengers Endgame came out. So a little backstory, I have been a die-hard McCoo fanboy since my father took me to watch Iron Man when I was around 10, and I have watched every single Marvel movie on theaters since then. So since this movie was a pretty huge deal, I got tickets for me and my friend, who also is big a fan, as soon as bookings opened, around a month before release. I got us the best seats, not too far, not too close, in center aisle. The seats were for the first day, first show. I even took a leave from college that day for the movie. Fast forward to screening day, we reach 15 minutes early and we take our seats. After some time, advertisements start playing and movie is about to start in 5 or so minutes when suddenly Em and Ek come running up the stairs of the theater and go to their seat, which is in the extreme corner. She is the last to arrive because everybody else were also die-hard fans of the franchise like me and didn't want to miss a second of the movie. Movie is just about to begin when I notice them get up from their seats and march down the stairs and come to a stop near me and my friend. Apparently they were trying to choose who they should ask to get up, and they settled on me and my friend. She first politely asks if I can go to her seats instead because I can't get a decent view from those seats. I politely decline and say that I booked tickets a month in advance so I could get good seats and I paid extra advance booking fee for them. Em tries to explain how we are grown up and too old for the movie and Ek deserves those seats more than us. I said by ch1 to myself, not out loud. I still politely decline. Em and Ek, not getting what they want, start yelling at us and creating a scene saying that we shouldn't have come to a kids movie in the first place and how we are incompetent a-holes for declining a single mother's request. People around me tell her to TIFU and sit down cause the movie is starting. She ignores and starts yelling even louder, to which point the staff comes up trying to get her to quiet down. She doesn't listen to the junior staff, to which they have no option but to call their senior and pause the movie and start commercials and stuff again. She keeps yelling at me and I try my best to ignore her. A minute later the manager, or just some senior staff member, comes and asks her to go to her seats, to which she replies that we insulted her and Ek, and we refuse to get out of our seats. The manager doesn't ask me anything and just tells me to show my ticket, to which I happily oblige. He takes one quick glance at our tickets, turns around to Em and says, "Ma'am, please go to your seats or I will have to call security to escort you out." He pulled out the security card so soon because the crowd was getting angsty due to a delay in the movie and things could have gotten out of hand. The smirk on Em's face is completely wiped out on hearing this and she is dumbfounded. She tries to speak but manager cuts her off and says, "Go to your seats, ma'am," at this instant. Crowd boos her as she makes her way to the corner seat, and Ek, who was around 10 to 11, throws up a middle finger and crowd starts booing even harder. This is literally a theater full of fanboys and fangirls booing and chanting curse words at her, and it was literally defeating. I held my calm throughout and only spoke politely to her because I wasn't going to allow her to spoil my mood. The movie, which was scheduled to start at 9:30 a.m., now finally starts at around 10. The movie is going awesome, everyone is having a good time, when I notice Em and Ek pass my seat on their way down before the Avengers Assemble scene even came up, and heard Ek complaining that the movie was too long.
Today I ducked up by orgasming uncontrollably at the gym, causing a 911 call. About 4 months ago, I started doing daily Kegel routines to improve and intensify my orgasms. They work. Today, doing sit-ups on a bench at the gym, I began to feel strange. As I pushed upward on each rep, my body felt tenser, like frustrated and elated, and I was vividly aware of the inseam of my shorts between my legs. Right before the peak, I finally realized what was happening. Stifling a moan, I threw myself forward, trying to avoid lying arched and spread-eagled on my back. I ended up crashing to the floor, clutching myself. Once I could think again, I realized people were running toward me and yelling about seizures and heart attacks and 911. I curled into the fetal position. I was raised to be deeply ashamed of every aspect of my sexuality, and though I've recovered enough now to be adventurous in the bedroom, I'm still a ball of shame in public. Hearing sirens, my gym is 4 blocks from the fire station, I wished for death. Finally, when the paramedics were about to grab me, knowing I couldn't afford the monetary devastation of an ER visit, I sat up and yelled, "It was an orgasm, I'm fine. I'm never going to the gym again. But I am gonna see where these Kegels take me." Today I ducked up by asking my boyfriend's mom to eat my A. So I'm dating my guy for the past 4 months, and due to the fact that I am a mom, when we meet we stay at his place. He lives alone, but his, very religious and backwards, parents visit from time to time and stay there for a couple of days. This weekend was not one of them. His parents were supposed to be across the country and not in his house. I just have to say that I haven't met them yet because they would be shocked by my appearance and by the fact that I am a mom. So we had an extra wild night and fell asleep. When I woke up pretty early in the morning, he was not on the bed and I heard the water running in the bathroom, so I assumed he was having a shower. Great opportunity to sneak in and have a morning shower treat. I tried to open the bathroom door, but to my surprise it was locked. He was probably taking a ST before the shower, I thought. So I knock softly on the door and say, "Hey babes. Who wants to suck my A?" The water stops running, but no response. I continue with the sexiest voice I have. "Come on, open the door. I need a good spanking. I want you to turn my A red and then eat it." Still no response. That's when I hear the main door open, and to my surprise I see my boyfriend with his dad entering the house with a bunch of bags and boxes in their hands. I turn my head and look at the bathroom door, horrified. My stomach dropped. Maya didn't want to be eaten anymore. Never again. The door opens slowly and I see in front of me his mom, her eyes filled with despair and judgment. I'm looking at my boyfriend and he says, "Mom, Dad, this is my girlfriend." My face was burning and I just shook her hand and then went and shook his dad's hand, and then I went into his room and packed my stuff, made an excuse and left. Later I found out that his parents decided to come last minute in order to go to a friend's funeral and didn't say anything to him because they assumed he would be alone. And he had no choice but introduce us. His mother never wants to see me again. And I assume the answer to the question I asked her is no. Lol. Today I ducked up by accidentally caressing a parent of a child in my class. This happened a couple months ago, but I ran into my former boss today and she informed me that she still watches the video footage of my duck up whenever she needs a good laugh. For the past 5 years I've worked in childcare with primarily 1- and 2-year-olds. I'm very affectionate and am known to spoil the kids by holding them and cuddling them all day. I often have multiple toddlers coming to me needing to be consoled at the same time, so I've gotten very good at multitasking. One day, this little boy named Luke was getting picked up by his dad early. It was snack time and Luke was not happy about having to leave and have his snack taken away from him. I took the screaming Luke and set him on the edge of the half-door counter thing in front of his dad. His dad put an arm around him and bent over to sign him out. Luke was still crying loudly, so I reached out my hand to smooth his hair back and touch his cheek. At the same time as I'm doing this, another little boy starts crying my name because he's just fallen down, so I turn around a little bit to face the other child. At this point, I'm still caressing Luke's face almost subconsciously while also kneeling down to talk to the other boy that's crying. After several moments of touching Luke's face, I realize that it's surprisingly hairy and then realize that he's a baby and shouldn't have a hairy face. My hand freezes and I slowly turn my head to see that not only am I face to face with Luke's dad, because I was kneeling and he was bent over the door signing Luke out, but that I also have my hand on his face instead of Luke's. I sat there shocked for several seconds before I realized that he had the biggest grin on his face, and it finally clicked in my brain that I should move my hand. I stood up and immediately started apologizing and trying to explain myself. He just chuckled and said, "Don't be. Your hands are very soft and I do enjoy being pet." The thing about Luke's dad is that he is one of the most stunningly beautiful men to walk this earth. All the women I worked with had crushes on him and I'm pretty sure he knew it. He is also very charming and sometimes flirty, but not in a creepy, inappropriate way. So when he said this to me, my jaw dropped and my face felt like it was about to burst into flames from how much I was blushing. He saw my face, let out a big belly laugh, and said, "Relax. I'm just messing with you. It's okay, really." He then winked at me before chuckling some more and leaving with Luke. A couple minutes later, I hear some roaring laughter coming from the director's office. My director came down the hall cackling and asking who wanted to see me make a move on Luke's dad. Of course, by the end of the day everyone had seen the video of my duck up. The next day, Luke's mom came into the room and said, "I heard you made a move on my husband yesterday," and then erupted into laughter. Apparently he called her as soon as he left to tell her all about what I had done. When my director saw that Luke's mom was there, she called us into her office to watch the video together. It's even more embarrassing watching it happen because of how absurdly long I was touching his face. Luckily, Luke's mom found the whole thing hilarious and hugged me and laughed the whole time we watched the video. The rest of the time I worked there I was teased about what I'd done. And apparently my director still watches the video and even shows some of the new employees. It is quite funny now but was super embarrassing in the moment.
Hey, if you want to see more similar videos like this one on daily basis, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification to see our tomorrow's even better video.